Thank you very much, James Hughes. So one last reminder to go and register if you're with a group. So last reminder. Before we introduce the next one, I wanted to give a shout out to all the youth here from the east and west of Canada. There's so many of you here. It's awesome. So now I'd like to introduce to you Pat O'Brien, who's going to come up and introduce the parliamentarians. Pat O'Brien was a member of Parliament himself. Pat was the 2006 recipient of the prestigious Joseph P. Borowski Award in recognition of his courage, and is now working closely with Campaign Life Coalition and the Knights of Columbus for the pro-life cause.
Maintenant, Pat O'Brien, pour introduire les parlementaires anciens membres du Parlement lui-même. Il a reçu en 2006 le prix Joseph P. Borowski pour son courage. Maintenant, travaille pour la Coalition pour la vie et les Chevaliers de Colomb. Pat O'Brien.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. What a wonderful turnout. Someone estimated it maybe 40 minutes ago as 5,000. I think they better re-estimate. My office used to be up there, and I watched these rallies for many, many years for various causes, and this is a lot more, like 2 or 3 times 5,000 people, that's for sure. So congratulations for the enormous turnout. Slight change in the program. I know my former colleagues will be patient on this, but the gentleman I'm going to introduce has made a special effort to be here from Washington last night. He's got a very tight schedule, and the man I'm going to introduce to you now is an internationally recognized scholar, a former advisor to the Reagan White House in his youth and younger days, an advisor to the Vatican, a published author in defense of life, and the Supreme Knight of the Knights of Columbus, our great friend and defender of life from south of the border, our American friend and neighbor, Mr. Carl Anderson.
Thank you very much, dear Friends for Life. Every year at the March for Life in Washington, D.C., I am tremendously encouraged by so many Canadians who march with us each year. And so today it is a real joy for me to be able to march with you here in Ottawa. Today we claim both of our great nations for a culture of life, for a culture that promises hope to everyone, and a culture that promises a helping hand to everyone in need. Last month in this building, the House of Commons overwhelmingly voted to defeat a bill that would have legalized euthanasia and assisted suicide. 74% of Canadian parliamentarians from every political party chose life for Canada. And the House of Commons also recently blocked government funding for abortions for the poor in developing countries. These are tangible, visible threats, steps that we are moving toward a culture of life in Canada. Canada and the United States may be governed by different laws, but together we make clear that the culture of life cannot be limited by borders. Only a culture of life is worthy of the dignity of every Canadian and every American. A culture of legalized abortion makes of our nations a no man's land where no unborn child is safe. Some insist that abortion is only an option in women's reproductive health. But what really is healthy about abortion? In the work the Knights of Columbus and Project Rachel have done, we have seen firsthand the terrible, long-lasting effects of abortion. Studies show that 64% of women were pressured into getting an abortion, and that 83% of those women regretted their choice for abortion. The sadness of losing one's child often lingers for a lifetime. It is a sadness compounded when it is a choice that is the reason for that loss. There are no winners in abortion. There are only dead children and wounded men and women. But building a culture of life does not begin at the 11th hour, at the clinic door, or here at the door of Parliament. Mother Teresa so often said, charity begins at home. We can also say, a culture of life begins at home. This means loving the born and the unborn with a love that cannot be missed, with a love that is a witness to everyone. When we return home, let us continue to build the culture of life in our homes, in our neighborhoods, with charity, openness, sacrifice, and a willing to give to those who have little or nothing. I know that there are some in both of our countries who say our courts have acted and that legalized abortion is settled law. But I would answer them with the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It is always the right time to do the right thing. And defending the right to life of our children is the right thing to do. Unborn children are our brothers and sisters, and we will never abandon them. Today we choose to stand on the side of the unborn child. We also stand with those who give them life, who nurture their life, and who care for and support their life. Each and every one of us can be a living stone in the culture of life. Together, let us pledge to do our part to make the culture of life a reality. God bless Canada, the true North, strong and free. We stand on guard for your children and for your future.